Hi everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I'm here with one of my favorite colleagues, Dimple Arora. She is a certified life coach, nutritionist, and one of her main specialties and one of my most favorite modalities as well is EFT. So today we're going to talk about what is EFT, why you should use it. Maybe we'll even do a mini session for myself. And also I would like to also get into the difference between EFT and meditation, because everyone knows that I'm a big meditator and I know that it's something that people struggle a lot. So we'll also get into the key differences of that as well. So welcome, Dimple. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad we're having this conversation.
Yeah. So do you want to start by letting people know how you came about to this work? I don't think I really know the entirety of your story either.
Of course, of course. So I grew up with a lot of health issues. So the first 10 years of my life, I vomited every meal. I was always shifted from doctor to doctor. Nobody understood what was wrong with me. And my childhood was pretty traumatic, right? So I had all the ailments, and then I was in a household where it was very stressful. And so what happened was, by the time I got to my late 20s, early 30s, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. So I was a high school teacher at the time. I was very sick with so many different symptoms. I was in chronic pain. It was IBS. My bones would hurt, digestive issues, emotional regulation issues, PMS, severe PMS. There was just so much. And on my last day of teaching, I collapsed in the staff room, and that's when my teaching career ended. So the next few years after that, I focused on healing myself from the fibromyalgia, from the autoimmune issues. And what I realized during that time was, yes, there was a component of nutrition and physical health and gut health that I had to reclaim in order to heal. But I also realized that our bodies hold on to so many different emotions and incidents, and trauma gets stored in the body. So I started realizing that it was my emotional healing component that needed to come along with the mental and physical healing.
So did you start on it's amazing to me because I know you as this vibrant person, so I can't even be silly at all. But did you start on the physical, more traditional medicine? Because I even though everyone knows that I'm very much into energy medicine, and psychosomatic healing as well. It's just like, when did you discover that traditional Western medicine wasn't going to cut it for you? And especially because being a woman of color, like, we are actually more open to Eastern medicine as well, but we live in Canada.
Exactly.
So
we don't have access. That's such a great question. We don't have access to those traditional practitioners that are going to practice a holistic approach. So I was shifted from doctor's office to specialist for the first 32 years of my life. And it was just take another pill, have another prescription filled, live on steroids, live on antidepressants. I refused to take any anti-anxiety or antidepressant medication at that time because I knew that it wasn't depression. And what happened was you get a specialist appointment and you start to feel so much hope. Oh, this is the doctor that's going to help me. And then you get to that specialist appointment, you wait for about an hour, maybe in the waiting room, or 2 hours in the waiting room. Now I think it's probably better with the COVID schedule. But back then, right, this is 12 years ago, 12 years ago. So you wait in the waiting room. It takes all of your energy just to get to the specialist, because usually maybe they're not in the same town as you, or you've been referred somewhere else to get in earlier, but it's still like an 8-month wait. right? And
Yes, yes.
so it takes so much energy. And once you're waiting in the waiting room, you see the specialist for about like 5 minutes, and you just leave with more blood tests have been ordered, another prescription, and you lose all hope again, right? And what happens is I found that I was waking up always thinking, okay, what's my next step? What is my next step here? And that's why I became so passionate about holistic healing, because I decided I need to just help myself. And that's why I went to school to study nutrition. That's why I started realizing that it was the gut health that came into play. I had to heal my gut and heal the emotions. And that's when I discovered EFT. I didn't discover EFT until about 2011, and 2012 is when I did the training. But part of the training is you have to do a 1-year peace procedure for yourself. So what that entailed was writing
Peace as
out
in PEACE.
PEACE. And what that entailed was writing out all of the incidents and trauma and things that really bothered you that you had to work on to clear. And I started working on it to clear myself. And I noticed that I got better emotionally. I didn't feel as heavy. I didn't feel as ungrounded. I started to feel lighter and more vibrant, and things that I would think about that were like flashbacks for me, like say there was a certain incident from my childhood that that I was getting flashbacks on. It was negative. I would think about that incident and I'd have no emotional charge left. So I was amazed at the power of the modality.
So what do most people, women come to you for when it comes to EFT?
Well, first, let me explain exactly what it is, because some people might not
Yes.
know. Some people
Yes.
might not know. So
Yes.
it's based on the principles of ancient Chinese acupressure and modern positive psychology. So what happens is you tap different comfort points on your body. So comfort points like here or here or here, right? So these comfort points are connected to the body's meridian system. So while you focus on the issue that's bothering you, you use your fingertips to tap on these different points on the body about 5 to 7 times, 9 times. Like there's a sequence. Okay. There's a sequence, right? And what happens is you start to send calming signals to the brain through this tapping sequence. Because when we're stressed, our body has a stress response, right? And we have a part of the brain that's housed in the prefrontal cortex that helps us to make decisions and think more clearly. It's called the amygdala. And when we're stressed, what's happening is the amygdala, it's constantly firing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you tap these points, what you do is you send a calming signal to the amygdala. Okay. You send blood back to your forebrain. And that is what helps you to think clearly again, right? Make better decisions, be more creative, feel calmer. And so it's really a fascinating process. I've used it for everything. I use it for sleep every day to make sure that I'm going to have a good sleep. I use it with my daughter, who's 8 years old, before she sleeps so that she can calm her nervous system before bed, right? And I know it's very effective for sleep. So you asked what do people come for? So there are so many things. So for example, I have a client right now after this call. She has a fear of dying. Okay. So I'm going to be working with her on fear of dying. Earlier.
And this is a debilitating fear, I guess, that really stops her in her life.
You know what? She's actually a young girl, because I work with a lot of tween and teen girls, and she's 18, just started university, and she's coached with me for a while. It's the fear of dying that's holding her back right now, that she's coming back to me for, to help clear that. So earlier this week, I worked with another teen girl who's 14, and she's having suicidal thoughts right now, but her case is more with gut health and gut healing, and some ruminating thoughts that she's having, right? So she's having
Mhm.
some adverse reactions to medications and things like that. So there's so many things. Fear of public speaking. The other day, I was working with someone, somebody had just come out of a relationship breakup. So that was huge, processing the emotions for that, going through divorce, childhood healing, relationship issues. There's so many things. So anything to help clear the body of these negative emotions, right? To
What I
process
like
these.
about EFT too is that you're not denying what you feel.
Mm,
You're not trying to push away your
yeah,
emotions. You're not trying to suppress it. You're not trying to, the first part of EFT is really present to what you're feeling. So you're not bypassing your emotions, which I think is really good. And I think a lot of people even can't meditate for that reason. They think that you have to think nothing, which is
impossible. Yeah.
impossible. But meditation and mindfulness is actually observing, being able to sit and observe what you think. But it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. So should we do a round, Tina? Would you like to do it to my audience?
Sure, we can definitely. I also, yeah, I
Okay.
wanted to just mention that when we name our emotions and we claim them, that's how we can release them, right? So that is the best way to release them. And not everyone can meditate. So what happens is I find a lot of people, their nervous systems are on high alert. So first, they have to learn how to calm the nervous system in order to become a meditator, right? Because to meditate, you do need to be able to sit. And there are a lot of clients, a lot of women who are not able to do that because they are stuck in a trauma cycle where they're constantly busy. So that's why the meditation is not really effective for them right away. And then they feel like they're failing at meditation,
Yes,
right?
busyness is actually a coping mechanism as well, right?
Exactly, exactly. So that's why the meditation is difficult for a lot of people, whereas the tapping, they're used to, some of those people on high alert, they're used to just moving their bodies, right? So this is just, it's easy for them.
Yes. So I mean, I'm very eclectic that way. And I know you are too. I feel like that you have to experiment with certain things in certain periods of your life to
Mhm.
find out what is most effective for you in that moment. And the most important thing is just to not give up,
Exactly.
right? If you're dealing with something, whether it's anxiety, depression, overwhelm right now, making a lot, yeah. So I would like to do one maybe on clarity. Like a lot of my the people that listen to me are single women,
Yeah.
high performing single women, very busy, and you know they thrive in that environment, yet are always sort of battling overwhelm,
Overwhelm.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
Um, and they also have the inability to reach out to other people and say, you know what, I can't handle this right now, until they
Mhm.
actually burn out, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, I would like to maybe do, if you're up to it, like a quick one
Sure.
on
Sure.
um, recentering and then moving toward clarity and decision making. Because when you're single and you're either in a complicated relationship or looking for some or dating, what you need most is clarity. You need to be able to
Yes.
make the right decisions for yourself. So that,
Yes.
can you
Yes.
end the call with
Okay.
that? Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Perfect.
sure. So we're gonna tap on gaining clarity right now. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I guess in this moment I'm not particularly, well, I was in this moment, I'm not particularly overwhelmed. Maybe yesterday I was.
We can do it on, yeah, maybe on overwhelm or feeling anxious, maybe.
Yeah, anxious and yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
because that
right.
maybe somebody's feeling anxious.
Can
is
we do like
watching this.
anxiety moving to clarity? I mean, it's different because I think I know what I want, but then
Yeah,
you don't know when it comes up, right? Like, is that
exactly.
how do you first start off the session?
Okay,
Do
so
you
what you do is you first tune in to the amount of anxiety that you're feeling. So choose anything that you're feeling anxiety about. Okay, so anything at all. And from a scale of 1 to 10, choose a number that of how much you're feeling this anxiety, with the 10 being the worst and 1 being the least. Okay.
Mhm.
Then what you're going to do is you're going to take a deep breath, try to feel your feet on the floor and just kind of get a little bit grounded. And we're going to tap here, starting on the karate chop point. We call it the karate chop point. Okay. So even though we do a setup statement 3 times, okay, so even though, and this is going to be kind of on the whim here, so let's see what I can come up with. So even though
Even though
I feel all of this anxiety right now,
I feel all of this anxiety right now,
I choose to love and accept myself in this moment.
I choose to love and accept myself in this moment.
Even though I feel anxious and uncertain about my
Even I
future,
feel anxious. No, I feel anxious and uncertain about my future.
and I don't have clarity moving forward right now,
And I don't have clarity moving forward right now.
I choose to accept how I feel in this moment.
I choose to accept how I feel in this moment.
And even though
And even though
you can use 1 hand or 2 hands, you can switch hands, it doesn't matter. Even though
even though
I feel anxious,
I feel anxious,
I choose to accept how I'm feeling in this moment
I choose to accept how I'm feeling in this moment
and move forward
and move forward
by accepting how I feel.
by accepting how I feel.
Okay. All of this anxiety, did I lose you? Oh, all of this anxiety,
All of this anxiety,
all of this anxiousness,
all of this anxiousness,
even though it feels like the correct emotional response for my body,
even though the correct emotional response for my body,
I choose to be wise as I assess this anxiety.
I choose to be wise as I assess this anxiety.
All of this anxiety, I can't even shake it.
All of this anxiety, I can't even shake it.
I wish it would just go away.
I wish it would just go away.
Can't even do at the top of the head now. I can't even do anything.
I can't even do anything.
It's affecting every part of my day.
It's affecting every part of my day.
I feel like it's holding me back right now.
I feel like it's holding me back right now.
I just want to have clarity.
I just want to have clarity.
I just want to know what I'm doing.
I just want to know what I'm doing.
I'm not enjoying this anymore.
I'm not enjoying this anymore.
It's really paralyzing.
It's really paralyzing.
But I know my body and my brain are just trying to keep me safe.
Just trying to keep me safe.
I lost you for 2 seconds. So this is the collarbone point, right? So it's under the collarbone, like there's this indented space here. Some people just tap the middle, okay? And then the next point is right under your armpit, about 2 to 3 inches down. It's on your kind of your bra strap area, right? All of this anxiety. I give myself permission to let it go.
I give myself permission to let it go.
Just a little bit of it even.
Just a little bit, even.
I allow my body to relax.
I allow my body to relax.
I give myself permission to relax.
I give myself permission to relax.
I ease into a space of calm.
I ease into a space of calm.
I choose to support myself
I choose to support myself
and release this anxiety.
and release this anxiety.
Releasing this anxiety now.
I'm releasing this anxiety now.
Allowing my body to feel safe.
Allowing my body to feel safe.
Releasing, I need to know what the future holds.
Releasing that I need to know what the future holds.
Releasing, I need to be in control.
Releasing that I need to be in control.
I allow my body to relax
I allow my body to relax
so I can be in control.
so I can be in control.
And I choose control
And I choose control
while I surrender.
while I surrender.
I choose to feel supported.
I choose to feel supported
While I surrender.
while I surrender.
And I release all this fear,
And I release all this fear,
giving my body permission
giving my body permission
to let go and relax.
to let go and relax.
I relax now.
I relax now.
Okay, now take a deep breath. Let it out. Okay. So that you could say is like round one, for example, right? So now what you do is you look at your number from 1 to 10, think about it again, and how much of it, that anxiety are you feeling? Did the number go?
Yeah, it's gone. It's amazing. And I think what's so special about working with you is that you get to, first of all, I know you're very intuitive. But you also get to specialize in feeling. So you'll get to know your particulars as opposed to, just picking it up on a YouTube video or something.
Oh,
But
thank you.
I guess that's the real difference. I've never, really working one-on-one with the EFT coach and with all your other background in nutrition. And you're very similar to me in that you have a range in your offerings, because we're not just one pillar, we're many pillars and many aspects of our health and well-being.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that we connected over this holistic approach, because it is the mental, emotional, and physical. They're all interconnected, and they are all required to be balanced in order for complete whole healing to occur. Right?
Yeah. And how did you get specifically working with mom and teens? Is that because of your teacher background, your educational background?
You know what happened? I started the business in 2012 working with women, and I used to do the Louise Hay Heal Your Life workshops. And they were so profound, this entire weekend of soul healing. It was an amazing experience. And then I had my daughter, and then I stayed home with her. I was very focused on motherhood at that time. In 2018, I relaunched my business, but I was working with kids and then teen girls. And then last year, I realized that most of my clients are teen girls. So now I work with the kids and the teen girls, but I support the moms as well. So I support the parents in parenting, and I have a parenting podcast now that just released in June as well. So I feel like when we are whole and healed as parents, when we've processed our stuff, right, then we can better pass that healing on to our children as well, right?
That's amazing. And I'm really glad that you do the work that you do. I mean, I remember being a single mom and not having access to, access to the having self and dealing with a teenager. It's something that mothers actually don't want to do, because it's a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you may not know what you're doing. There may even be an element of shame in not
absolutely
in the way you've handled your motherhood, and you don't want anyone to know that, right?
Exactly.
But it's so important. It's so important as women, especially in this age, in this crazy world that we're living in, that the mothers as well as the teens get support. So I'm so happy that you're doing this work.
Oh, thank you so much. There is a lot of shame and guilt that comes with motherhood. And as we clear our own shame, we're better able to embody this divine feminine energy that we can pass on to our daughters, but also to our sons, right? So there's a lot of work for women. And it's important to know that our men and our boys also need the healing as well. So I know a lot of people now are specializing in that area as well. So the boys are taken care of because there's a lot of wounded feminine and masculine energy out there that's been passed on to all of us throughout the generations. So really, when we heal ourselves, we are healing all the past generations, we're healing the future generations. And that's why it's important for us to do the inner work, to release our shame and our fear and our guilt, right?
Yes, thank you so much. I love it because a lot of my audience too are mothers, so it's perfect. I'm so glad that we're able to do this, and so glad that I'm able to introduce EFT on a broader scale.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad that you're doing this work. So can you let people know exactly where's your podcast and how can they find you, and if you have any upcoming programs coming up for them?
Oh, thank you. This has been such a great conversation. I just want to add one thing. If we were to do a round 2 of the EFT, it would start with, even though I have some of this remaining anxiety, right?
Yeah, so you work with them until it's cleared.
Yeah, until it's clear. Yeah. So even though I have some of this remaining anxiety, I choose to love and accept myself. And then you go on and you tap. So rounds, it could involve more than one round for sure. But,
so that was certainly just a demo. And there's so many layers to us. There's so many layers, and you never really. And as things come up, it's like, oh yeah, I did this work. I shouldn't feel this way anymore, but it's not. We're human.
Oh my gosh, Ivy, I'm so glad you said that, because even this year, I noticed something that came up for me, that I have a habit that I've been doing my entire life that I did not become aware of until this year. Right. So it's amazing how the layers just keep unpeeling. And I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by healing work and how we just keep going through the layers, right? It's a process. But it's fascinating, and it's a beautiful journey for sure. So I am on Instagram at Dimple Mindful Evolution, and my website is currently being updated again. It's mindfulevolution.ca. And all the links on my Instagram account, you can find book a free coaching session to a free consult. I have my next teen girl empowerment circle starting again in January. So lots of things going on.
Amazing. Okay, thanks, Dimple. I will talk to you soon, and we'll be in touch once again.
Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed it so much. Take care.